My name is Angela McDermott. I'm the Garden Engagement Coordinator with the San Antonio Food Bank. I'm in our teaching garden location. Just going to give a little information about what we do here with our Farm and Garden program. Um, and then if there's any questions anyone has, I think I might have a little bit of time to answer those toward the end. But our Farm and Garden program is a little over 10 years old. We have 2 locations and 4 growing spaces. Here on the property of the San Antonio Food Bank, we have our teaching garden. This is where we kind of showcase how to grow in a small space. So we've got raised beds, we've got an outdoor aquaponic system. We have a greenhouse with hydroponic and aquaponic systems inside as well, smaller ones. And then we also have a barn with goats and sheep, and that's in partnership with the Daisy Care program. The Daisy Care program, it partners with the San Antonio Food Bank and helps to bring awareness that there not only are there people who are facing food insecurity and hunger, but there are also animals, both like dogs and cats, domestic animals, and also livestock like horses or cows or chickens or sheep that are facing food insecurity and hunger. So that program helps to bring awareness to that issue, as well as to collect donations. We have those animals here just as an educational purpose. So just to kind of showcase how to take care of those animals in an urban setting. We don't harvest the animals or anything. They're just to showcase when people come in how you're taking care of those animals. The other area that we have on the property is a 40+ acre farm. There we do, it's one of the areas where we do the bulk of our vegetable production. We rotate our fields. Right now we have majority of our fields in cover crop. So we've got wheat, rye, and clover mix that's out on our fields, and that serves a couple different purposes. One, it helps to reduce erosion, both wind and water. It also helps to build organic matter into the soil because we've got some pretty heavy clay out on our farm. Currently, we have carrots, Brussels sprouts, green onions, beets, and mustard greens growing out on our farm. We're going to be transitioning into some of our spring, winter, and our spring crops in the next coming weeks. Currently, we have volunteer opportunities for harvesting and washing and packing carrots in the next couple of weeks. So next week, that's one of the things that we're going to be doing. At our other location, and that's at Mission San Juan, there we have we partner with the National Park Service. We have a 5-acre plot where we demonstrate how food might have been grown during the time of the missions. So right now, that's one of the areas where we do the least amount of modern farming techniques. We use the existing acequias to flood irrigate that space, and we try to find crops that might have been grown during the time of the missions. Currently, we've got radishes growing in that spot, and we're getting ready for the spring to plant some corn, beans, and squash out in those fields. We've got about 3 fields where we demonstrate how to do that. The rest of the area, we've got about 60 acres, about 30 of which is actually in production. We have a peach tree orchard that's about 5 acres. And then we've got several other acres that we have in rotation. Right now we have onions that are growing out there. Those will be ready for harvest around April of 2021. Altogether, we have around 100 acres where we're growing food for the community. That totals around 250,000 pounds of fresh local produce. We are very dependent on volunteers here at the San Antonio Food Bank, especially on our farm and garden. We only have a staff of 6 to take care of all of that, all of those acres. So we couldn't do what we do without the help of volunteers. One of the things that we like to do is we don't have an age limit for people to come out, especially for volunteers. So that way we can hopefully encourage more families to come out to participate in our garden, in our orchard, or on any of our farms. That way, if they're not familiar with how a carrot is grown, or how a peach blooms on a tree, or how you harvest peaches, they can experience that throughout the year. We are growing through all the seasons in here. We're lucky enough to be in South Texas where we do have a long growing season. So we're able to grow all year long. We also have volunteer opportunities all year long. The food that we harvest, all of that produce goes back into the community. So we have several different distribution channels where that food can go into the hands of those who need it. So we have our farmers market program. We also have our distributions, our mega distributions, our on-site and pop-up distributions. We also have our community kitchen where they're able to utilize some of our produce. And also we have a nutrition team, health and wellness and nutrition team. They use some of our produce as well to be able to showcase how to use some of those vegetables in recipes and to utilize some of that product out in the community. So if there's something that someone's not familiar with, we had some kohlrabi over the winter. A lot of people weren't familiar with how to use that. Our nutritionists and our chefs were able to create recipes so that way if someone was like, oh, I want to try this, we had that vegetable and then they gave them a recipe so they could try something like that at home. Our volunteer opportunities for our farm and garden program are Wednesday through Saturday for the month of December. We have volunteer opportunities in our garden, on our farm, and at Mission San Juan. And all that information is available on our website, as well as other events that are happening within the food bank. We've noticed that we have a great need for individuals to come out to be able to help their community, feed their community. We're also starting up some garden classes in the spring. Hopefully in March of 2021, we'll have some in-person and also virtual gardening classes. So that way we can expand how individuals are learning how to grow food for themselves and encourage them to come out to help us to grow food for the community as well. So I'm just going to show you guys a little bit of our teaching garden. I'm just going to kind of pan around so you guys can see a little bit of what we've got growing over here. So this is our outdoor aquaponics system. We're kind of in transition right now from some of our late fall into our spring. And then this is our raised beds and our greenhouse. So we've got some cauliflower that's growing there. And then down here, we've got some beets and carrots that are growing in our raised beds. In our greenhouse, we currently have our hydroponic systems, and in there we have about 5 different types of hydroponic and aquaponic systems that are growing in there. Right now, we actually had a tear in our greenhouse roof, so we only have one of our systems up while we're getting all those other repairs fixed. But in that system, we have our spinach, we've got lettuce, and we've got strawberries that are growing out there. We rotate our crops because our greenhouse is not temperature controlled. So we rotate with the seasons just as we would in our raised beds. So right now we've got some cool weather crops that are in there. As the weather gets a little bit warmer, we'll transition into more warm weather crops in there. The great thing about our greenhouse is that we have all these different systems, both aquaponics and hydroponics. So we're able to grow a variety of different fruits and vegetables, and then to showcase how people could do that if they wanted to do something like that at home, which is really kind of neat. So I don't know if there's any questions. Okay. I think I'll just wrap it up from there.